A surprising Boston Bruins player has joined Trent Frederic atop the NHL's trade target list, and a lot of fans are going to have some very mixed opinions about this. We're going to be talking about what that means and how Don Sweeney will affect this, as well as Jeremy Swayman, and how crucial his most recent games are to this Boston Bruins team here in this video. Before we get into it, though, we know that 70% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Boston Bruins news, you're in the right spot. Hit the sub button, join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins, and remember, I'll be keeping you guys up to date with the Don Sweeney tenure with the Boston Bruins, and we're going to be hoping to see him out as GM as soon as possible. But you're going to have to subscribe to the channel to get all those updates. But without any further ado, let's get into this first topic of our video today, which is a pretty surprising trade candidate, as I mentioned, along with Trent Frederic, and joining him atop the NHL trade list. We've seen Brad Marchand kind of move in and out of there, but a new forward has joined Trent Frederic in Justin Brazeau, a very interesting player that is going to bring up a lot of controversy regarding whether or not the Bruins should move on from him. And I want you guys to let me know right after this little topic, after we kind of go over some of the main subjects and main points here, as to why this may or may not be a good idea. What do you think about Justin Brazeau potentially being on the trade block? But going into this, looking at what we have now, Trent Frederic currently highlighted at the top at 9, and you see down to 16, among some other very interesting names, below Nick Robertson, Taylor Hall, Yanni Gourde. Those three have really been at the top of all of this. May not be at the top of the board, but have been at the top of quite a few trade lists. Justin Brazeau is down at 16th, just under Brandon Tanev, and has been climbing this list very, very quickly. And looking at the way we've seen Justin Brazeau play this season, and especially the most recent games we've seen him play, and how he's been one of the main players and one of the main people on this Boston Bruins team that have been really keeping this team alive, he is now on this trade list, and personally, I don't think that this is a smart idea to trade Justin Brazeau. Regardless of what the Bruins decide to do, depending on what they try to do, whether it is going to a rebuild, which we know the Boston Bruins likely will not, whether it's a retool, Justin Brazeau is one of the players that you need to keep in this lineup for quite some time. He's going to be a key piece to build around. Now, even though this is only his second season and he only played 19 games last year, he's a lot older than some people think. He's currently 26 years old, going on 27, and definitely a late bloomer into the NHL. But you see that age and that, almost responsibility already be present in his NHL game, and not even playing a full total season yet in the NHL. And with that comes a lot of responsibility for him, as I mentioned, and the way that he's been playing on this third line, the way that we've been able to really see him potentially climb up to a second line, potentially climb up to, at maybe very difficult, maybe a long shot, but the first line, if need be. I do believe Justin Brazeau can really take over that role and take those reins. And as I mentioned, 19 games last year, was injured quite a bit, came back in the playoffs, didn't seem himself in the playoffs, a lot of that being because, rushed back almost to get back into with the team, and didn't really get his feet back under him. But 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points in 19 games last year, and now 43 games this season with 19 points, 10 goals. He's on quite a hot streak, and one that the Boston Bruins are certainly going to want to keep. And as I've mentioned with Justin Brazeau many times, when you look at his stats in North Bay, in the most, I shouldn't say the most recent season, his final season with North Bay as the captain, goes out and scores 61 goals, 52 assists, 113 points in 68 games. He's a dog, and I do think that, still early in his NHL career, once he gets, a few more, maybe 1 or 2 more seasons under his belt, hopefully with the Boston Bruins, he becomes one of these elite goal scorers in the NHL with a big power forward, a guy that is not afraid to get in front of the net, a guy that's not afraid to shoot. His game can really translate well to what the Boston Bruins are looking for in this season in specific. However, doing this and, trying to plan this out while also being on the trade target are not 2 ideal options. So the Boston Bruins are really going to need to choose one or the other of what they want to do with him, what they want to do with the upcoming contracts as well, because when you look at Justin Brazeau down there, he's currently on the final year of his deal. UFA after the season, $775K, but a lot of expiring forward contracts, and I do believe, personally at least, that Justin Brazeau is among one of the top names on this Bruins team that needs to be re-signed in this offseason or before, and keep him on this team for the foreseeable future, because as I've mentioned with many players with this Boston Bruins team, he's the cut of a Boston Bruin. He is exactly what the Boston Bruins were hoping to get in many other players in the past that they haven't been able to, and finally, they have a guy from inside, don't need to trade for him, give him an extension, he's not going to be asking a lot of money, and he could be the perfect asset for the Boston Bruins. And when we do look at his stats, when we do look at what he is compared to Trent Frederic, and we see Trent Frederic, 45 games, 13 points a season, struggling quite a bit, got a point last game after an 11-point drought. Looking at what we've seen him compared to Justin Brazeau, Brazeau has exceeded in really every situation this season compared to Trent Frederic, and has really taken over that role of the guy that nobody wants to play against. And the 6'5" forward really has found a home on that third line, but certainly will not be scared to move up to the second line if need be. And really, wherever the Boston Bruins need him, you can always rely on Justin Brazeau. So let me know what you think about Justin Brazeau here. Do you want to see him traded? Do you want to see him, continue on with the Bruins? It's a very interesting one that I did not expect to see on the trade block. However, being a UFA and, the Boston Bruins uncertainty really makes sense. And I guess a lot of this also does come down to what Don Sweeney wants to do. And that's what's the part that really scares me, is that I don't know what the future for him holds. I don't know what the future for the Bruins holds. And he really could try and make a big splash and then leave the Boston Bruins as, in a very bad way, with a few big moves that nobody wanted to see made. So I guess it really is a flip of a coin at this point. We really don't know what is going to happen, but let me know what you think about Justin Brazeau. You want to see him on this Bruins team, or do you want to see him traded? Let me know in the comments below. But we need to head on to our second part of the video, which is a pretty crucial update that I should say is one that we've all really been waiting to see and waiting for the beginning of the season to actually see, and that's Jeremy Swayman. He's really been finding his game as of late, and although the Bruins were going on a 5-game losing streak, got a win against the Capitals. This certainly is, a win against the Panthers. This is certainly a good sign for Jeremy Swayman over his past 3 games. Now, you look at the bottom there against the Rangers. He started that game, 27 shots against, 2 goals, and .926 save percentage. Still lost in that game, but Swayman played all right. A tough game in Toronto there with 4 goals allowed, but in the last 3 games, against Edmonton, against Tampa, against Florida, he's been keeping that save percentage quite in the area of where we want to see it. .921, .900, still a bit low, 3 goals against, 30 shots, but then we see him against Florida, 3 goals against on 43 shots. He's really been keeping the net safe. He's been really keeping the puck out of the net. The shots he's getting quite a lot of shots, and even in the opportunities where, you're looking at the shots, you're just looking at the stats, even watching him in these games, he's really seemed to come back to the Swayman that we've wanted to see and expected to see at the start of the season after his brand new $66 million contract over 8 years. And the way that he's been playing, the way that we've been kind of seeing him, his body language on the ice, he seems to be confident once again. We always know that Jeremy Swayman was not one of these goalies that was found any nerves, had any nerves during a game, especially in the playoffs last year. We've seen him really come home with that and be able to own the crease and really be that guy that we've been waiting to see. And last season's stats also show that him and Linus Ullmark really, exceeded expectations. 253 goals against, 916 save percentage. And then you go the season before as well, 227, 920, 241, 914, and 150, 945. This year, definitely an anomaly, but we've starting to see those numbers, that style, that number goaltender Jeremy Swayman come back so far in this season. And it's the perfect time to do it when the Bruins are struggling a bit. Once we get this offense going back, once again, the defense locked up a bit more. Everybody stays healthy. Everybody kind of resolves these issues that we're having now. And Swayman keeping up these numbers. This is going to be a good spot for the Bruins heading into the latter half of the season. So, finally, happy we're seeing this. Let me know what you think about Swayman, but also I want to know what you guys think about Justin Brazeau. And what really is going through the mind of the Bruins right now with him being on the trade block. But that's all I got for this video. If you did enjoy it, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. And remember, all your Bruins news right here. We'll have it as soon as it comes out. And we're waiting for that Don Sweeney news. Some stuff that's going to be pretty scary coming up as we have the NHL trade deadline slowly closing in on us. But as I mentioned, that's all I got. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. But I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.